uh, do, okay. Now, do you see Alan? Okay, I'll let him in. Okay, let's see. Just waiting for a few. Okay, let's see. Let me see if I got any messages from Alan. Let's see. Okay, that's it. We got it up and going. We're just not gonna play music tonight. So thank you very much. Okay. All right, ladies and gentlemen, as we get everything started up, waiting for Alan, because Alan was having some problems with his computer. So depending on if he got through with those problems with his computer, uh, we'll see. Okay, we'll see if Alan can make it tonight. And so I'm gonna, okay, it's 6:02. So I'm gonna start it. And so when Alan comes, we'll let him. Oh, let me stop this. I got the radio station playing, like listen to this really crazy news. So let's get to this. Okay, so I was just thinking, last night we did a show on how to get into the top 200 billboard. And I have a lot of musicians on my email list. I got about close to 250 people. And I got the list from I used to go on the show with this guy named Don Jr. And now he's Pastor John Jr. And he was in Vegas. And so he would do these shows about, like, critiquing songs. Artists would come on, and these were young artists, they would come on and people would listen to the song, and we'll do like a positive critique. We didn't try to say, hey, that's terrible, you should not. No, we just did like a critique. Hey, you can do this, lift up the vocals more, and or positive message, or maybe not so much positive message. And so from that, we did that for a long time. I mean, and then the people were sponsoring his show, and so you would sponsor like like, sorry about that, you would sponsor like his show, and he might charge you like $120 or whatever, and that would help him do what he was doing, like with the system that he has set up and all that kind of stuff, and taking out the time to do the research, and he would send you this packet, and he would promote whatever show you were doing or promote your music. And so he charged you, and he would get the job done. I mean, he would go in there and boom, 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 get it done. And like I said, he would charge you, like he would have Christmas specials where he would charge you like maybe $50 and say, hey, we'll do like a month worth of sponsorship or whatever. And so that's the way he did his thing. And so I said, okay, let me see. Oh, the Parkers. Let me let them in. Okay. So, and by the way, whatever platform you see us on, either DLive or YouTube or Twitch, or YouTube or Facebook, you can go and you can what can I say? You can punch the like button and subscribe and all that kind of stuff. So all right, let me see. What did I? Oh. Okay, so anyway, so so I started to think about, okay, how can we do? Okay, I have some information that a lot of musicians don't have, because I mean, I'm always looking for information, reading this, reading that, and reading this. And the first time I ever showed someone in a real uh, anytime I showed people in a real big sense was my daughters had their boyfriends and they were rappers, and my one of the guys who's kind of get on his own, he's like 18 years old. So my daughter, she snuck him into my house, and so he was living with me, and then his other friends, and I thought about what Earth, Wind, and Fire, what happened when they made their first album. The producer took him up to this ranch, and he kept them in the ranch, and he said, "We're not going to leave here until we have this album finished." So I don't know how long it took, but they did the album, and history was made, Earth, Wind, and Fire. So I said, well, let's not reinvent the wheel. I have these young guys here, they're 18 years old, and we can produce some shows, we can produce some music. And so every Friday, about 30 young people would come to my house, girls in the bathroom, putting in their makeup and all that kind of stuff. And I had the girlfriend, my wife at this time, she wouldn't put up with that kind of stuff. But the girlfriend I had at that time, no problem, right? And then they would all leave, get in the carpool, get in different cars, go to the club, and we'd do a concert every Friday night. And so the guys would be producing the music. They didn't have like a job. Their job was producing this music. So I got about 3 albums out of these guys, and I taught them how to get the royalties because they were doing live shows, and BMI had just started paying smaller artists to get royalties for the live shows. So I did the paperwork. Then I showed them how to do the paperwork. But as you know, paperwork is not sexy. That's why you have a record company. The record company does all the unsexy things, paperwork this, paperwork that. So I was doing paperwork. So they stopped. I still did it. And then I was still collecting the royalties and then taking my 20% cut out of that, out of the royalties that because it was like 50-50, and so that was the first time I said, wait a minute, I know this information. I shared it with these guys. They got tired of it. I continued. And so there. So, and I'm doing other things as far as like making sure people get international money. Because now that I travel international because my wife is from Moscow. I went to Russia and I heard my friend's song on somebody's speaker. And I'm saying, and we had this beat that you just know. Do 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 do. And I stuck my head out the door. I said, that's my partner's song. But I didn't know that sometimes they grab music from United States and they take it to China, to Russia, to France, whatever. And unless you get in touch with those companies that collect money over there, they're playing your music over there and you're not getting paid. So then I learned how to get international payments for recordings, right? And then it took me a long time. I asked for help because some other people knew how to do it better than I. So I asked for some help, got it. And then I got the international royalties for artists. And because you can't be everywhere, but the way digital recordings is, it's an imprint on all songs and you can find those songs if you look for it. And I know how to look for it. So now I said, okay, I met some people who got their songs in the top 200, and I noticed that what is it? Let me get back to. I'm sorry, I have to get back to. Okay, I'm gonna get back. Sorry about that. I have to get back to here. Okay, so I found out about how to get your songs in the top 200 Billboard, met some people who did it, and then saw how their career, they started getting better paying gigs. They started radio stations that wouldn't normally play like artists without a record label behind them. They started moving up, started moving up, right? And I said, wow, okay, so that's how the game is played. So I said, okay, let's do a contest. And I want the artist to get something out of it. Plus, doing the paperwork, it's not the funnest thing to do, but since I know how to do it, I would put together a system where the artist would win something in the end, and they would learn something in the end. Our nonprofit would get a donation, and everybody would be helped all around, right? And I understand that some artists on here, you may have like your mother, your daddy, your girlfriend, your boyfriend. That may be your only fan, right? Well, I also learned how to get fans, and it takes a little work. But if this is what you want to do for a living, if this is sorry about that. Yeah. If this is what you want to do, it will and I send the information to some other people, some of the other artists, and I haven't sent it to you, Tony, and because I know you're a member, you're a long-term supporter, so I oh, hold on, let me see if I can let Mike. Oh man, I'm sorry. Let me make. Let me. Okay. Okay. Let me let you. Okay. I let someone else in, and I think there's somebody else in the waiting room. Let me make sure I get.
You got Mike Johnson and the Parkers.
Okay, I want to make sure. Okay, so okay, and I know Alan is having some problems, so he may not be here tonight because he has some serious problems with this computer. So okay, so when I met these people and they had got their music into the top 200, I realized that radio stations, they look at that list. People in Europe, they look at that list too, and if you're on that list. If you get down close enough to the top 50 songs or top 40 songs, you'll get invited to the Billboard award shows. And I used to have this friend, like, and he used to go all the time. Some people like to keep stuff close to them, like you play cards, you're playing poker or whatever, and you don't want to show people your hand. And he was disabled, I'm disabled, but his family was rich, so he had money to hire a secretary and all that kind of stuff to do all the unsexy work. And so, but he would never tell me how, and I don't know if he ever invited me to go to the Billboard Awards with him, but I knew that this is how he did it, because he would, I would go and he had this nice fancy car. I would get in his car and says, Johnny, let me listen to this. Excellent quality, and boom, and I know, his family had money, so they could fix him up. I didn't have a family with money, so I had to, read those books and just apply what I knew. Okay. And so, and I didn't get jealous because he was always going to the Billboards Award, but I said, there is a way to get there. And so when I met this other couple, they showed me how to do it. And then I took their story and I shared it with Mike and with Alan and with everybody who's members of Innervision or who has ever helped us. So anyway, so okay, so when I found out how to do this, I said, okay, how do we get the other groups involved with this? And not everybody is okay. Not everybody is gonna. Not everybody is going to get. And I'm sorry, I get distracted because I have to keep looking at who wants to come in and who doesn't. Not everybody is going to, do like 200 people or 250 people. But if I get you going down the right road and I start showing you, okay, do this, you can get close there, and then you can keep building on that, because it's very simple. I'll tell you another story, because I tell a lot of stories to just to let people know, where I'm coming from. Back in 2006, I used to work at this Christian coffee house, and we used to know this guy that he was a guitarist player, and he lived in the basement of his parents. He's 24 years old, and then go forward, 2012, I'm flying back from Moscow, and he gets on the airplane and says, "Hey, Johnny, hey, remember me?" And I didn't remember him. I didn't remember his name, but I remember that I remember that I knew this guy back from the Christian bookstore, and we used to have like these concerts, and Brian, he would pack the house because he knew how to get the bands, and then we would charge $10 at the door, and we had an upstairs and downstairs. And I remember this guy, and I said, "What are you doing on this plane coming back?" He said, I'm coming back from Munich to coming back to America." And I said, "Well, are you still living with your parents?" He says, No, I got my own place, and I got a band, and I found out my audience was in Europe, so I go to Europe and I rent a place, sell tickets, and I do concerts in Europe, because that's where my fans are. And believe me, people in Europe, Russia, they love American music. They imitate us. We don't imitate them; they imitate us. And so they do it with their flavor and stuff like that. But it really comes from us here in America. So when we got to the airport, in the airport, you hear on the speaker, "If you're going to declare more than $10,000, we're going to say a list of your names." And I said, this is kind of like a privacy thing. So they started reading off the names of people that are declaring more than $10,000. And his name was one of those names. Wow. So I knew, he found out how to, make money, go to Europe, no longer live in his parents' house anymore. He's like 34 now. And I found out some information from him on how he did it, which I'll share it with my members and my artists. I'll share that information with you guys, and so for the artists that wanted to do this contest and say, "Hey, I got my mother, my brother, my sister, my girlfriend, my boyfriend, whatever, and I don't have a fan base," I can show you step by step how to do that. And say, "Well, I don't know how to build a buzz around my music. I'm an artist. I know how to write the music, but I don't know how to." And I sit back and I look at this. I watch movies about how other people have done it. I read a lot. And so when I say, well, $10 to register your song, some people, "Man, that's a lot. That's more than a Burger King hamburger." I'm thinking, "Oh, okay, go buy the Burger King hamburger and do the sexy stuff." And so, because a lot of people I'm working with, I don't know them, they're not a part of Innervision. They're just on my email list for it. Or they say like, "Oh, you're gonna have somebody $5 to vote for me? That's $5. That's too much." I said, "Well, okay." Yeah. But it helps us because what we're gonna do with the money is, like, when we set up your music and we do the pre-sales, because you can go to, I'm going to send out a link tonight, and it's going to show you the YouTube video that if you didn't see it yesterday, it'll be a link right there. You can see what we talked about last night. And it would tell you certain things about how to get your music in a countdown. And the SoundScan, they're only worried about 1 week. So you got to get started, people, buying your single for $1, $2, whatever. In this case, it'd be $5 because we're doing the paperwork. We're buying the songs with that money for you. So you can say, "We could buy two songs, and it's coming from your fans, right?" And so So whatever we split it in half. We'll spend 250 on paperwork, 250 on your song, and then we'll get other money that will go towards the prize money, which would be the $500 or $1,000. And believe me, if you get enough people to buy like 250 songs, there'll be enough for the prize money if we did 2 songs per 200 person, so it comes out to $500. If you get more people, it goes up, and it's quite simple. Innervision is the motor and is driving this, and we'll tell you step by step what we need from you to create a buzz, right? And we'll help you with that, because it's quite simple, but it's a little work done. There's a little work with it, but it's like fun, because once you're in that top 200, and I want to see one of the people on the list get down to the top 40, because when you get down to the top 40, there's radio shows. Okay, we don't have it here that much. We have the top 40 country. We have the top. I don't know if you even played the top 40 hip hop, the top 40 rock. But when I go over to Europe, they love that kind of stuff. And so they have a guy, even doing the top 20. And I want to see one of our guys off that list that I got from Don Jr. Jr. I want to see them get in that, right? And I thank him for sharing that list with me. And so I said, let's do this concert. This concept, and I guarantee you, you're going to be somewhere in that top 200. Now, depending on how much you generate as far as like the buzz and the fans and so forth, will depend on if you're going to be just in the top 200, or you're going to be in the top 100, or you're going to be in the top 50. Either way, once you get into that list, you can point out to club owners, I'm on this list. You can contact radio stations, or you can have us do it. You're on that list, and that list means something, because once you get in that list, you're a part of the history of music, whether it's 200 or if it's 100, and especially if it's 50 and 40, and especially if you're fighting with the big boys to get into the top 20 of that list. But I know that someone on that list can do this, and so we picked out. We're going to pick out 12 songs to put together the mixtape, because we got to work as a team, and not everybody in that 12 songs in that list are going to be the $500 or $1,000, or maybe they may surprise me. They might be like, really say, okay, we're going to plug in what you said, Johnny, boom, 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 and it happens. But I believe in artists, and I want to see them, and I like the music that I get from Mike, from Tony. I said, man, I said, I can't sit down and do that, but I know, okay, they can do that, but I can do what I do, and I've seen it work with my daughter's baby daddies, and I will leave them a legacy, because those royalties will continue coming in, because I learned how to do that. And record companies, they know how to do it, and that's why they want your master when you sign with them, because then after you're gone, if you overdose some drugs, or if you live a crazy life, your music, they control the music and they keep it going on and on. So, and somebody asked me a question earlier. I'm going to answer it because we're about to end the show. And if you have any questions, we can do that. Somebody asked me a question. Well, what if I did this song with this person, this person, this person, and somebody else has the rights to that music? Well, the answer I told that person, go back to that person and work out the cuts. The cut, you guys got to cut it up. If it's 4 people, you're going to cut up 25, 25, 25. or if the guy who produced it, whatever, what if he wants, maybe he wants 50% and wants to give you guys, a little less, right? Work out those cuts, because the last thing you want to do is get the song out there. It goes, you get invited to the Billboard award show, and you guys are fighting about cuts. Get all that stuff worked out. If it's more than just you who worked on the song, and get the cuts worked out, get it written down on paperwork. Everybody signs it, so everybody is no mystery. No, well, I wrote that part of the song, and I don't know if I get everybody to sign it off, because when the money comes in, when you start getting invited to Billboard, that's when it happens. Okay, so if anybody does, okay. So the Parkers, they hopefully they knew their stuff, and they're getting ready for the contest. Anybody else who's watching this later on, info at innervisionfm.com, info at innervisionfm.com, and I'll send you more information about that. So anyway, if nobody has any more questions,
Johnny, I got a question for you.
Oh, okay, go ahead.
When you try to upload any of your MP4 files or MP3 files, you try to upload them by email, and your email account only will allow you to like 25 to 33 MBs or something. And those files are usually a lot more, so it won't upload them, or it won't send them to you. Do you have another way of getting them?
Dropbox.
Go into your Dropbox or send it to your Dropbox, you mean?
Yep.
Okay.
I can share it with you.
Yeah.
And then
why don't you? Because I got to put that. I'm almost done with that video of yours, and I'll put that up in the Dropbox, because I can't send that to. I can't send that to the mail. Mike Johnson, I have a quick question for you.
Sure.
I saw you with a sword there. Do you do something with swords?
Martial arts.
Wow.
Okay, I'm just curious, because I was looking for somebody who could maybe give us an estimate on an old sword, but it's a sword from Russia, an old one from Russia. So,
I would have no idea on that stuff. I'm not an expert by any means.
Okay, I just saw you. I saw you playing with the sword.
It's a Chinese favorite.
Bonsai.
Yeah.
I
Okay.
love it. Well,
that's all I got, John.
Yeah, Mike, have you ever thought of like making a video just of you guys doing what you do? I think that would be fascinating, man.
Actually, my song Battle Axe on YouTube has me doing martial arts stuff.
See, it's okay, because I got to get people to describe the video, because I hear the music and I'm not thinking like, well, maybe there's a picture behind that.
Hey, Joe.
Battle Axe on YouTube with MJ5410, I think.
Oh, okay.
MJ54101.
Okay, then I'll have somebody like go ahead and describe that to me.
John, what about instrumental music without any vocals? Does that ever do anything?
Yeah, like in Europe, there are stations that they love our jazz, especially out there, and they dig deep. so music with instrumentals. I don't think they would discriminate against that, because there's a station for that. And like I said, once it gets in, when you label songs to get into the top 200, you say, instrumental or stuff like that. And then, so the station knows they're grabbing the song, it's not going to be like a pop song. It's going to be this or that song.
Ah, gotcha.
So it's just a part of like label. And I'll send that information over to you too, Tony, so you'll have the information too. But it's just very easy. But not everybody knows it, even though it's easy.
All right.
I'm putting a link to Battle Axe into the chat.
Okay. So I'll grab it. I'll grab it from there. All right. Well,
okay, guys, I gotta leave.
Appreciate it. All right.
See you, Johnny.
See you.
All right. See you guys. And we'll see you tomorrow night on Innervision FM TV. Okay.
Did you get that, Johnny?
Yeah, let's see. It's up in the chat. It's in the chat.
In the chat, yeah.
Let's see. Let me see. Type and select. Let me see it. No. Wait a minute. I'm kind of figuring out what is the. I thought I knew the link to grab a chat. Let's see. Let me see. This. Wait. Let's see.
I can just send it to your email too. It doesn't matter.
Yeah. Do the email because this thing, I don't know the command to grab it from the chat here.
Okay.
But I appreciate it, and
All right.
I'm gonna check it out and then have somebody tell me like how it goes and everything.
Okay.
All right, thanks, man. I'll
All
talk
right,
to you
take
later.
care.
All right,
Bye.
bye. Okay.